Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So I didn't think that I would be really ever making 2 videos a day, but the Republican Party decides to stab their constituents in the back so much to the point where I have no choice. I have been left no other option. We did a video today covering last night's primaries, but something happened last night that went, I guess, a little bit under the radar at the time, that's still in the news cycle that we have to talk about. So 14 Republicans voting yes to advance the gun control bill. 14 Republicans. Take that in perspective. That is about, 30% of the entire GOP base in the Senate. 30% of the Republican senators cannot even conserve the Second Amendment. Seriously. This is what we are dealing with. Like, this is the most basic conservative thing that conservatives have actually been winning on recently. I mean, for the past 20 years or so, the gun debate has been pretty much won by the right. Every single time that this issue is raised, nothing really happens, and the right is vindicated once again when they just point to basic statistics and data surrounding gun use and gun control around the world, and the statistics at home that disprove why gun control would actually be effective. However, Republicans in the Senate cannot understand anything. They voted on the compromise. John Cornyn especially, he goes out here, senator of Texas, voting for gun control. Yeah, right. And he's saying, oh, we have to compromise. We came together. It's like, no, you got compromised because you're weak. You don't understand how this works. The opposition does not view politics in the same way that you view politics. The opposition views politics as a power grab. They understand that more power for them, the more they're able to push the Overton window in their direction so it stays there. So Republicans do not have power, so we never win again. However, these weak uniparty Republicans, they are decreasing in number, but they are still there. They are still in the Senate by and large, and they're voting for the demise of their own constituents and their own supposed ideology that they're supposed to have. This is how it happens. You give an inch, they take a mile. Trump banning bump stocks didn't change anything in the gun debate. It didn't. Nobody cares. The left will say, okay, well, we got to do a lot more than that. We got to do a lot more than that. It's not going to stop. They say the slippery slope is a fallacy, but it is not a fallacy. It's not a fallacy when it came to the alphabet agenda. It's not a fallacy when it comes to gun control. It's not a fallacy when it comes to really anything, because these people want more. They will get it incrementally. But if we're going to be apathetic to this incrementalism, guess what we're going to be left with? We're going to be left with absolutely nothing. No faith in society, no family, no country, nothing. No guns especially, and that's where we're at right now. So what is in this bill, you may ask? What is in this bill? Well, first of all, it incentivizes states to have red flag laws. We understand what that happens. If you flag somebody as, oh, this person's potentially dangerous, then guess what's happening? They're going to not be able to exercise their Second Amendment right. We understand how the left works in this country. I mean, they deem everybody a domestic terrorist, an insurrectionist, somebody that goes to a school board meeting, voices their opinion. Oh, they're a terrorist. We understand that. We've seen this over the past few years. We know how they've dehumanized us so far, and if they're going to have red flag laws in place or incentivize states to have red flag laws, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have more guns that are going to be confiscated away from ordinary people like you just because some crazy leftists deem you crazy, and you're not going to be able to exercise your constitutional rights. That is what is going to happen, and now because of this bill and these 14 weak loser Republicans, you are going to see more of them. Beyond that point, it goes on. It apparently closes the boyfriend loophole, a gap in current federal law that bars those convicted of domestic violence from purchasing a firearm only if the victim was either a spouse or a partner with whom they lived or had a child. So basically, this would extend it to people that are just living with each other in relationships. And honestly, like, what difference is this going to make? How many mass shootings would this have prevented? Really, let's be serious. Like not even one. And this is not the worst part of the bill, but it really doesn't necessarily do anything. If somebody is so crazy and they beat up their girlfriend and they're going to shoot up a certain public place, they're probably going to be able to illegally obtain a weapon if they really want to do it, because that's how crazy they are, and we understand this. Beyond that point, it says clarification of licensing requirements and illegal straw purchases. So basically, that strengthens licensing requirements and makes sure that people that are under 21 have super enhanced background checks, which I'm not sure why that would really change much, if at all. We understand that I believe one of the guns that the shooter in Uvalde had was not even legal. They were not able to legally obtain a handgun in Texas if they were under 21 to begin with, so it wouldn't really matter or make a difference there. The only good thing this bill does, one could say, is that it invests in mental health services and school security. However, they're just going to be throwing money at the problem. Is that really going to solve anything? I don't really know. I will say the school security thing is something that is a net positive, obviously, but why couldn't the bill just have been that? Like, that would have been good, right? We understand that. It would have passed unanimously. Probably give more than $15 billion, but instead they had to go out of their way and incentivize red flag law legislation to be happening in any state that they possibly could have it happening in. It is absolutely ridiculous. And you want to talk about a red wave? If these are going to be your Republicans, people are not going to be energized to turn out to vote. You might get 1% more in this suburban county that has been moving away from you, and you're going to bleed your energy that you have across a wide variety of rural areas, small towns, exurbs, etc. If you cannot energize the base, your midterm wave is going to be held back significantly. Gun owners vote, and they vote on this issue mainly. Look at the people that cared most about gun control in 2020, 2018. Why were they turning out? They were turning out to vote Republican. They were not turning out to vote Democrat. This is true. And you look at the fact that you had the Parkland shooting in 2018, several other shootings take place, and the polls for the generic ballot, you saw a massive uptick for Republicans when the left had their March for Our Lives, when they had this gun control push. And you look at all of these Republicans, they don't get basic political strategy whatsoever. And obviously, one could say that they do because a lot of these people are not up for re-election until 2026, or they are retiring, which is a thing. But these people get elected and they will stab you and your family directly in the back because they don't work in your best interest. They work in the best interest to line their pocketbooks in Washington so they could be liked at dinner parties with people that hate the people that voted for them. And in many cases, these Republicans also hate the people that voted for them. So we're going to go down this list and name and shame the 14 Republicans that decided to cave on this. And look at what states that they come from. These are not people that are in D+20 states. These are people that are in many cases R+20 or more. Roy Blunt is retiring. He is from Missouri. He will likely be replaced by, I don't know, maybe even Eric Greitens. Voted for Trump in 2020 by 16 percentage points. Absolutely disgraceful. No reason. Burr, retiring. Insider trader. Very corrupt. North Carolina. Voted for Trump by a lean margin twice. We know this. Capito, just elected in West Virginia, is pro-choice, by the way, as well. Should probably be primaried out at some point. And West Virginia voted for Trump by 40 points or so. 40 points. You cave on gun control in West Virginia. Yeah, real good idea. Bill Cassidy, down in Louisiana, not to be confused with the based Michael Cassidy running in Mississippi's 3rd. Louisiana voted for Trump by 20. Caved. Susan Collins, that's a little bit more understandable, does not excuse it whatsoever. There's no reason for her to cave. She could obviously not cave and she would still win the state. In 2026, probably, I don't know what is going to happen there. But this gun control bill is not going to probably change a single vote by then, so it's useless. John Cornyn, just elected in Texas. This guy, we'll talk about him a little bit more in a little bit, but he is so weak. Texas, not only did it vote for Trump by 6 percentage points, but it is a very pro-gun state, has been for a long time and still has. Absolutely disgraceful. Joni Ernst of Iowa, that was surprising. Ernst was a loyal backer of Donald Trump ever since 2016, but even she bent the knee and caved. Iowa voted for Trump by 8 to 9 points. Both times, absolutely disgraceful. Lindsey Graham, what a shocker. South Carolina voted for Trump by 12%. He thinks it's a good idea to cave on gun control. Bad idea. Mitch McConnell, yeah, what state is he from? Oh, he's from Kentucky. Voted for Trump by nearly 30 points. He caves. What a shocker. He's the main reason why the negotiation happened in the first place. Whatever happened to Cocaine Mitch? Oh, he's so based. The judges that screw us over time and time again. That's exactly all he was good for. Lisa Murkowski, up in 2022, which again, that's the only one. In Alaska, even though it may not be the most pro-Trump state compared to Republicans, a decade or two ago, it is still a very anti-establishment state. It's a libertarian state. It is a pro-gun state. And this is going to hurt her this time. It's a stupid political move, even with ranked choice voting. Alaska still voted for Trump by 10 points, and she is voting like a Democrat. That is her strategy. She's going to get absolutely trounced, hopefully, by as many points as possible come November. Rob Portman, retiring. Ohio. Thankfully, we got Vance in there. Ohio voted for Trump by 8 points. No reason in reality for anybody to do this. Mitt Romney, the nominee for the Republicans 10 years ago. Yeah, we've come a long way. This is true. So people that are like, oh, it's over. No, we've come a long way. But this is still disgraceful. Romney is up in 2024. Can we primary him out with Jason Chaffetz or somebody? I don't know. Utah's bench is very weak. We're not going to get, like the star candidate in Utah. But Utah voted for Trump by 21 points. Still, Romney, disgraceful. Tom Tillis, just elected. I wish we would have focused more on primarying him out back in 2020. North Carolina, again, we already covered that, voted for Trump by a couple of points both times. Probably going to vote for him by close to 5 in 2024. Absolutely disgraceful. And Todd Young, who did everything he could do to disqualify his primary challenger from the ballot in 2020. He's up this cycle. Indiana voted for Trump by 20 in 2016 and by 16 in 2020. Absolutely disgraceful. You do the math. It does not add up whatsoever. There is no reason for any of these people to cave, but they do it anyways because they do not serve the interests of the people, but the people are waking up. And of course, the weak Republicans, they're not going to stop caving on gun control. I mean, that's the most basic thing. Why wouldn't they cave in regards to amnesty? Like John Cornyn, he's the guy from Texas. Texas, what do they care about in Texas? They want, God, guns, oil, a strong border. John Cornyn, on the other hand, wants none of that. And that's very evident right now, except maybe oil. But obviously oil, all Republicans are basically pro-oil at this point. Maybe not Susan Collins or Lisa Murkowski, but either way, the main issues at hand here that are cultural wedge issues, John Cornyn is caving on all of them. And last night he said, we're going to work on immigration next to get a bipartisan immigration bill done that could even get us amnesty. But guess what? People fought back and he changed his tune. Today he said he was joking about the immigration deal. Joking? This is supposed to be serious. This is politics. I mean, you're not some comedian, John Cornyn. You're a boring guy. You're like the most boring person in the United States Senate. And now he's going to go out here and say, oh, I was joking. We're not going to have an amnesty bill. Well, he kind of said and hinted that he was going to back down from the gun control stuff, but he voted for that bill anyways. And this guy, his career is going to be over, 2026. He might retire. He might lose a primary at this point. I just hope it's not going to be to somebody like Dan Crenshaw, and it's going to be to somebody like Louis Gohmert. I don't know who else would potentially run, but either way, you look at this guy, it's a train wreck right here. Basically, he said, allegedly, from what we could tell, and actually here's what he said, first guns, now it's immigration. And Sinema said, that's right, we're going to do it. What does this mean? What does this mean? It might not be a full amnesty, but DACA amnesty, that's still over 300,000 votes that are going to be put into states, mainly swing states. That is a lot of votes that can alter the outcome of a future election. But Cornyn doesn't care. He doesn't even care about maintaining his own power. He just cares about money. He's just laughing. He's screwing the voter base in the back because it's not about the voter base. The Republican Party, not all of it, because we are infiltrating it, but a lot of these people are completely useless, and we could really do without them in power. And thankfully, we're primarying out a lot of people this cycle. Some have been successful either way, so we'll have to see. Jim Banks goes on and has said McCarthy already pledged no amnesty, but what difference does it make at this point? How many times have these people stabbed you in your back? Like, let's be real. We'll have to see. So it really comes down to a lot of factors. If they have time to put it up, hopefully not before the midterms, but we'll see. But gun control and amnesty, yeah, this is what you're getting if you're voting Republican. Nobody's going to vote Republican anymore. The wave is from R+10, now it's R+5 because of this. Not saying it can't get back up there. The news cycle changes quite a bit. But this is going to take a massive toll on the Republicans that are good, that are trying to get elected, because you are ruining the Republican brand with your own incompetence and your own stupidity. And that is pretty much it. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Make sure you like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. And make sure you check out the website for exclusive content and buy the merch. The links are in the pinned comment. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.